the new true crime called A Friend of the Family, and you played Jan. I'm just like, how did you get into the role of Jan? Like, what did you do?
Well, this is Friend of the Family on Peacock. The Netflix documentary is Abducted in Plain Sight, but I watched that documentary a lot, and I read all of the court documents and the interview transcripts that they didn't use for A Friend of the Family. I would read Jan's. I mean, not for A Friend of the Family. Now you got me confused for Abducted in Plain Sight. And I would talk to Jan often. I wanted to make sure that I was doing her story right, and that I wasn't doing anything that she would not have wanted. And she was always so open and honest with me, and I would talk to her often and message her and ask her questions, and that meant the world to me how open she was. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you got to talk to her. That's awesome. So she helped a lot. What was like the most difficult thing?
Probably playing a real person. That was definitely scary, but luckily Jan was always there and available if I wanted to ask her questions or talk. And she gave us all so much freedom as actors to play these characters, but it also meant so much to me that she would always speak with me. She would always give me so much more than even that I would ask. And she's just such a lovely human being.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, I loved talking to her too earlier. So what, would you say this was one of your hardest roles? I know you've been in, you're so young, but you've been in so many things. Like, I'm just like impressed by your filmography. Like, was this one of your harder roles, or do you think there was another one that was more difficult?
I would say that this was pretty difficult, but I am not only honored to have told their story, but to be a part of this production. Also, because I just learned so much about myself and acting and filmmaking and the process. I learned so much about my emotions doing this show. I learned a lot about emotional scenes and how to get myself to places that I had never gone before. I learned so much on this production, and this is one of my favorite things that I've ever done. And I'm so proud of this show, and I'm so excited for it to come out and to be able to be a part of telling her story.
I'm excited for it to release, like, and see what people are saying about it. I mean, I enjoyed watching it, but what do you think, what do you want people to take away from, after watching it?
I think that after watching the documentary, a lot of people could have jumped to being judgmental and say like, oh, well, they made all these mistakes, and that would have never happened if this was me. I would have never done that or let this happen. And they were entirely manipulated and taken advantage of, and every single person in that family is a victim. Jan was the one who was abducted, but each of them were groomed and manipulated, and that could happen to you. That could happen to anyone. And I hope that this show gives everyone a deeper understanding of the Brobergs and of their story and of why they made the decisions that they made. And it's just, I hope that people can learn from this show and see that they didn't make these decisions willingly. It was, they were also, they were tortured by this man. And so I hope that people can really understand them and see what this was like.
So are you up to anything next? What's your next role after this one?
I am. I'm actually shooting something right now. I'm filming tomorrow. My work week's kind of weird right now. We're shooting like Wednesday through Sunday, so this is my weekend right now. But I am shooting something right now that I'm very excited about. I don't know if I can say. I'm trying to think of when this interview would come out versus what day it is today and when the press release is coming out. But it's a really beautiful story about it's a very dark, it's another dark thing about it's about addiction and the impact that it has on families, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. I find myself always gravitating towards these very dark stories, but I think that it's just because I think that they're important to tell.